Okay.
Yeah.
In September to
Oh, okay.
January.
But I thought
But
that
she
it
messed my
had,
GP up. I only get a C in this stuff. I mean, it's algebra.
I thought that you could apply, but it has to be completed by the time you start the
Okay,
nursing program.
she misinformed me. She misinformed me. I don't know who that.
Oh,
She did it back in April.
I feel like that.
Find out which one
That
it
was
is.
a Jennifer. She did not like it.
Really?
Yeah,
What is the
she's
point?
trying to
What
make
grade?
us not be able to tissue line.
She's a
I
trip.
think I've heard of her before.
Is she out here?
She's a trip.
Oh yeah, she got me on a suicide mission.
I cannot believe that.
She set me up for failure.
And you know, her husband was my math teacher, and he is the nicest
It is.
guy.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to start from the beginning, since you guys should have the last set of overheads in your mind the freshest. We'll start from the beginning. And if you recognize one that was on the test, say something. Don't sit there, because if it was on the test, it's probably going to be on the test again.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
You want to just raise our hands and shout out?
What do you usually do?
Woo!
You raise your hand and shout out.
Yeah, you're right. Do you want me to do the happy dance?
Do the chicken thing.
I
What is
don't
that?
know,
Is
the
that?
chicken dance.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you see a question that was on a past test, just say so. Say so because it might be in the final. Do you understand?
You have any issues?
Say that again, Mike. We didn't copy.
If I go over an overhead and you recognize it as one of the ones that might have been on a test you've had already, say something.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I like this guy. I've never seen him.
Appreciate it.
She likes you, she said.
Oh, wait till the end to say that.
Oh, man. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, this wasn't on the test because it's all labeled up. What's that and that?
Those are the
Submandibular.
Submandibular salivary glands.
Why am I not taking pictures?
What's this thing here?
the trach, vocal cord.
The larynx, the thyroid, or laryngeal prominence. Do you remember that? Here's the actual thyroid, but this is the thyroid cartilage. And then what artery is that one?
Yeah,
It would
internal
be-
carotid.
Internal jugular.
Okay, I said artery, so as soon as you started saying jugular, you were wrong,
Okay.
because there are no jugular arteries. That would be the brachiocephalic artery coming up and then becoming common carotid. Okay, what goes here? Jugulars and carotids, right? Brachiocephalics are
Right here.
right around here because they're dealing with what?
The arm and the head.
What's it say? Arm and head, okay? You guys make it way more difficult. Those are big words. No, it's a sentence. Head and arm. If it has ducts, it's what type of gland?
Endocrine.
Exocrine.
Some of those.
Okay? And what exocrine glands do we go over the most? Well, the digestive accessory organs, so the pancreas, salivary glands, liver, okay? They all have ducts. So this is probably one of those things. Of course, it's a salivary gland. The parotid is going to be all serous or mucus. It's going to be all serous, all dark cells with ducts. So this is the parotid or parotoid salivary gland. Here's the duct that lets you know it's an exocrine gland, and it's all white cells, so it's sublingual salivary gland. Because the sublingual salivary gland is all mucus. I know there was a salivary gland on the test.
Not that picture.
I know, but there was one. And when you flash like that, it's not going to take.
It is.
Are you sure?
She has a BlackBerry. They're all powerful.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
she likes to believe.
Because I've seen people go home with a whole bunch of blank screens.
No, look at that.
Okay. I didn't challenge you. I didn't.
Well, it didn't blink. That's what that was for, right? Anti-blink. What's this? A duct. This is what you go for. You go, what do I recognize instead of what the hell is that? duct, so it has mucus cells and serous cells, so it's mixed. So which one is it? Okay, there's 3 salivary glands. We've already seen the sublingual, we've seen the parotid, and you guys have already named this one in another overhead. Submandibular. You remember when you saw the jaw? And, yeah, that's this one. It's mixed.
It's been a while.
Been a minute?
Mhm.
Yeah. That happens.
Try to get his warm back up.
I'm trying to stay cool. It's gonna be warm in here. All right, this is both respiratory and digestive. So this might have been on the test. You guys don't remember anything, do you?
Nope.
What sinus?
Frontal.
Frontal sinus. Sphenoid, don't answer ethmoid on the overheads.
You can't see it.
Right, it's too small. What cavity is it? Actually, all of this.
Nasal.
Nasal cavity, hard palate, soft palate. What's that? What's all this back here called? Pharynx. So what pharynx is that? Nasal pharynx,
Oral.
oropharynx, laryngeal or laryngopharynx. Esophagus would be down here. Here's the tongue in the oral cavity. Epiglottis. True vocal cord is on bottom and bigger. False vocal cord is smaller on top. So this is the larynx with the laryngeal prominence. So they can ask any of those questions. Which one did they ask on the test?
I know they had the vocal cords last time. The true and false, remember?
Now this would just be for greater omentum. There's greater omentum pulled away, so you can see small intestine, cecum with appendix. The band of muscle is the Taenia coli, and it helps form pouches called pouch structure. See the pouches? So ascending colon, transverse, descending. All this is greater omentum. So it goes, always goes liver, stomach, spleen. That does not change. If you can identify one, you should know what the other ones are. Falciform ligament, ligamentum teres or round ligament, which is part of the umbilical cord. It's the rudiment. This cecum is way too big with the appendix. Because somebody ate too much.
What's the appendix? Right, is that the little tip, a little crinkly? Yeah, okay, I thought.
It looks almost about the same size as the intestines.
If you get it, if it's removed, does that affect digestive function?
It hasn't yet.
Okay, that was a test question. That if you remove the appendix, would it affect the function?
I'm just saying for personal experience, it hasn't yet.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No, it's
She's new to you. She doesn't understand your jokes yet. Give her 15 more minutes.
She'll get it.
right lobe, left lobe, falciform ligament, ligamentum teres. So it goes liver, stomach, spleen. This is the left lobe of the liver. That is the lesser omentum. And this is the greater omentum. We have cardiac region, fundus, body, and pyloric region. Here's the spleen. What's the muscle that goes over the top of all of it?
Diaphragm.
Oh, wow, you know something. Liver, stomach, spleen. And what goes behind?
Kidneys.
Pancreas.
Close enough.
See the pancreas here and here. What are all those ridges in the stomach called? Bruggae. Are they always there?
No.
No. Right lobe of the liver always has a gallbladder, and it's going to be bigger than the left lobe. Fundus, body, pylorus. So here would be the gastroesophageal junction and the pyloric junction. Spleen kills red blood cells at what age? Macrophages in the spleen kill red blood cells when? Remember?
13.
120 days.
we did blood,
We
the
did blood.
lifespan of erythrocytes.
Well,
First
the
unit.
reason why I'm doing questions like that is, most of you aren't just taking the lab final.
We're more desperate than that.
I'm not judging you, but you guys screwed up somewhere. And
Well, you know what, thank
you
you so
took it
much.
in summer, that's what screwed you up.
Thank you so much for building up my self-confidence. My appreciate that. Should I just pack my shit and leave now?
Exactly, I'm wasting my time.
There's not a waste of time. I heard the TEAS test is way more now anyway.
Oh, that's even better.
Right?
Left low, right low, here's the gallbladder. But what you want to know, or what you want to think is, what is this overhead for? What's in the middle? Pancreas. Here's a spleen with lo mein, or chow mein. This is the superior mesenteric artery, and this is the superior mesenteric vein, because what's below the liver, stomach, and spleen? The small intestines, and those arteries and veins feed and drain the small intestines. So if you can identify where you are, you should be able to make a guess, because there's only 4 answers. And 2 of them are going to be BS. You're just going to be like, oh, that can't be it. Small intestines, cecum with the appendix, Taenia coli on the ascending colon, left lobe, right lobe, falciform ligament, diaphragm. You guys know that there's going to be an overhead this. It might not be this cadaver. What should be on the right side?
The right.
The liver, the cecum, appendix, ascending colon. So if you can see any of those things, if you know this is the liver, that's the right lobe of the liver. So down here should be cecum, appendix, ascending colon. You should automatically think that, not go, okay, what's over here, what's over there, because here should be the spleen and the descending colon with the sigmoid colon. Okay? No, you can't see the spleen or the descending colon part of it right there. What is this overhead for? What's pulled out of the way?
The stomach.
The small intestines. And if the small intestines are pulled to the side, what's behind the small intestines? Mesentery. So what's this overhead for?
Mesentery.
Yeah, that's how you work through it. It's not for the right lobe of the liver up there.
What did you say was missing? The small intestine?
It's not missing, it's just pulled to the side. Because there's the cecum right there.
Okay.
Or appendix, sorry, the cecum would be attached to that. But yeah, this is to show you why they make this overhead. To show you mesentery. Just like this one. They pull small intestines to the side. What holds the small intestines in place? Mesentery. What gives it? Blood supply. Mesentery. That's why the superior mesenteric arteries and veins are in there. Like I said, it's not for the right lobe of the liver with the gallbladder. What's this one? Cecum with the Taenia coli. Haustra, but this Haustra is special right here because it has this. What is this?
The sphincter of Oddi?
Not the sphincter of Oddi. Now I can't call it sphincter because I don't see the inside of it. And it's not on the duodenum, it's between the cecum and the small intestines. So what's the last part of the small intestine? Ileocecal junction. What should be attaching to the cecum? The ileum. You guys don't remember that at all?
The intestine part.
What are your sphincters? You have the gastroesophageal, the pyloric, the ileocecal, internal anal, and external anal, and then the sphincter of Oddi, which allows digestive enzymes in. Remember the pancreatic juices and the bile? This one is an explosion, isn't it? What is it?
It's the cecum.
How do you know that? Because it's written right there. Good job. It took me forever to get them to understand that.
It's the cecum.
Cecum.
Right there.
It says it right here.
I'm not
So what should be in the cecum right about here?
Ileocecal
valve. We can actually see it with the appendix.
So if you can't see it, what do you call it? A junction?
Yeah, because if you're on the outside,
Okay.
the sphincter is the actual muscles that open and close.
Okay.
So if you can't see those, then you have to say it's a junction because it's just two organs coming together. And this one shows everything. Got the greater omentum, there's the cecum with the appendix, T. coli, haustra, small intestines, descending colon. We even have left lobe of the lung and right lobe. And then cardiac notch. Well, this one's good. It's like pimento lobe. But what is this over here? Since it says it like there and there, it's liver. So what should that be? Liver, stomach, spleen, and pancreas is behind.
There's an overhead shot like that in one of the tests.
Yeah, that's the next one. Oh, did I change
It was that one.
I know it is that one.
Yep.
Now this one's lower, so it's below the stomach, but we still have liver and spleen. Okay, part of the colon. What kidney is this?
It's the right.
The left.
That was the
There's the
question.
spleen.
Yeah, I meant to say
That
that.
was there's amazing. It's amazing how I know that stuff.
That was the question on there. It was like, which liver is that one? I mean, which,
Kidney.
yeah,
What
whatever.
kidney? That one.
It's the right.
Right.
Yeah. So there's liver. What side of the body is the liver on?
The right.
Right. So what vessel is this right here in the middle?
Aorta.
Descending aorta. What's this one?
And vena cava.
Yeah, inferior vena cava. What's bigger, the inferior or the superior vena cava?
Inferior.
Yeah, superior is like that big. Inferior is like that big. What's the longest vein in the body?
The great saphenous.
Yes.
Grace saphenous or whatever you want to say. And then what's the largest vein in the body? The inferior vena cava. Don't switch those up. Okay, some teeth, more teeth. Did they have this one with the letters cut off? See?
Yeah, because they asked for the root.
What's that? That's enamel, dentin, pulp in the pulp cavity, root canal. So this must be the root under the gingiva. Cementum that helps hold the tooth in place. Enamel, dentin, pulp in the pulp cavity with odontoblasts. These are the cells that make the dentin. They're the odontoblasts. You remember osteoblasts?
Yes.
They build bone.
Mm-hmm.
Odontoblasts build dentin. That's a bad tooth picture. That one on the test.
That ugly picture.
So this is the tongue. There's nothing. The tongue is pretty.
Not all that stuff behind it.
So here's the tongue. Yeah, they don't go body, root. They didn't ask that. What tonsil is this right here?
Lingual.
Lingual tonsil because it's on the back of the tongue. And what are these on either side?
Palatine.
Palatine, because the soft palate goes across. Looks like strawberries. Must be stratified squamous. Okay. And then where do we have stratified squamous epithelium in the alimentary canal? Oh crap, what did he say?
In the,
Anywhere there's friction.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the anus in the mouth.
Anus in the mouth and esophagus. Okay, so when you see stratified squamous on epithelium on the test, think of those three places. And guess what? Get rid of the anus. Because guess what we don't have an overhead of? The anus. I don't know why.
Maybe you should make one.
No, I'm not going to. I'm getting my phone out. No, that's a bad joke.
Did you get?
All right, so we have papilla. You look at these projections, okay? Where do we have papilla?
The skin, the dermis.
The tongue.
The
Duh.
tongue, because we have taste buds. See the taste buds?
There are, but it's a
Furrows and troughs. So when you look at your tongue and you know how you say those are all my taste buds, those aren't your taste buds. Those are the papilla. Your taste buds are on the sides.
Why? Can you see them on the surface of your tongue?
No, but you can see the papilla.
Okay. So everything that you see is not a taste bud.
No, those are just these are the papilla you do see, and then in between them, see the circles here?
Yeah.
Those are the taste buds.
Oh, okay.
And then the Bodnender glands are on the bottom. This is a bad drawing of the tongue. I hate drawings. But see the taste buds on the side, and people go, well, that doesn't look like stratified squamous. Well, it doesn't look like a simple columnar. It doesn't look like a pseudostratified ciliated columnar. It looks like on top of each other. So I'm going to go.
Stratified.
You guys get caught up so much in what it doesn't look like, and it can't be that. When you look at the 4 answers and go, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that. Okay, it's that one. Try that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's there.
That
I
is.
What the hell is that?
And it's your layers of the alimentary canal. So we have the mucosal layer, which is going to be your epithelium, lamina propria, muscularis mucosa. Remember, the mucosal layer is the functional layer. It's the one that's going to do the work. Well, the esophagus, we don't have much work going on. It's for protection. Submucosa, which is going to be from here to here, is going to be your transportation network. It's going to have your large arteries and veins. It's going to have your lymph vessels. It's also going to have your glands. And then muscularis externa with the inner circular and outer longitudinal muscles are for what?
Contracting.
Yeah.
Peristalsis. Well, all muscles are
That-
contracting, right?
Close.
Peristalsis. Okay. Again, stratified squamous epithelium, so it's either mouth or esophagus. Doesn't look like, kind of look like a papilla, but not real well. Esophagus. So mucosal layers from here to here. Submucosas from here to here. Muscularis externa. And a lot of people say, well, there's no muscle band here, so there's no muscularis mucosa. How do I know? Well, does this look like muscle?
No.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
It does. That looks like a steak cut.
Okay.
Does this look like muscle?
No, but that middle band does.
Yeah, I was gonna say the middle.
Yeah, that looks like
that-
muscle.
Well,
Those
both
look
of
like
these are muscle. You have to think. Inner circular means it's going in a,
circle.
and outer longitudinal means it's going
Oh, now that makes sense.
at you.
They're in bundles.
Right.
Yeah,
Like the muscles. Bye.
I like that. Okay. So, if this is muscularis externa, what should be right above it?
Mucosa layer.
A mucosal layer is here.
Yeah.
It goes mucosal layer, submucosa, muscularis externa. So if you can't quite see what's going on here, go down here. I know this is muscle, so this is muscularis externa. This must be submucosa. So work your way backwards. And then what's this here? Serosal or adventitious, depending on your instructor.
Yeah.
Because the esophagus is both above the diaphragm and below the diaphragm. Esophagus again, so stratified squamous epithelium, lamina propria, muscularis mucosa, and then submucosa is not very big on this one, is it? Then we have muscularis externa and serosal or adventitious. Stratified squamous epithelium, esophagus. I just want you to guys to, ooh, esophagus. Because the only other place we're really going to have it is mouth and, well, for the last test, vagina.
Which wasn't even on the
So guess what? I wouldn't worry about it. So lamina propria is just the space underneath the epithelium. Muscular mucosa. Well, you can't say that definitively because each lab instructor gets to tweak the test a little bit. But Mogus sets up the one on what for you guys the first day, and then each lab instructor changes it a little bit. But they're lazy, so they don't change it that much. change where the tape is on the model.
I saw it.
Or they might, have you ever seen them back there going, how about this?
Yeah, that's what he does every question. And then he'll circle the whole picture. He's like, what is this? And you have several structures in the picture.
Peristalsis is not mechanical digestion. Okay, peristalsis is just movement forward. Segmentation, chewing, or deglutition. Did you ever heard of that word?
Yeah.
Was it on the test?
I doubt it.
You don't know. You don't remember 3 tests ago. And then what? Churning in the stomach. So chewing, churning, and segmentation are all mixing movements. That is mechanical digestion. What is chemical digestion?
Enzymes.
Enzymes. Okay, stratified squamous going to simple columnar, gastroesophageal junction. Because we're going from the esophagus to the stomach.
There's
And
a question like that.
anywhere we have simple columnar in the digestive system, what do we have going on there? Absorption or secretion. Stomach, we have secretion. Small intestines, we have absorption and secretion. Large intestines, we have absorption. So what is the mucosal layer epithelium of those 3 organs? What the hell did I just say?
I really don't know. I didn't know.
I said the stomach, small intestine, large intestine are for absorption
Right.
or secretion. Okay. Small or stomach is for secretion, small intestine absorption and secretion. So it's simple columnar. All 3 organs have what type of epithelium?
Simple columnar.
All right.
I was
There you go.
writing. That's why.
You were writing? Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't hear.
See? Don't write so much.
Stomach, intestines, and who?
Large intestines. Small intestine, large intestine, stomach.
Okay.
They got some stuff going on. Bad drawing. Stratified squamous to simple columnar, gastroesophageal junction again.
That doesn't look anything like a
I know it doesn't. I don't like drawing.
Food.
Yeah. There should never be food here. It should be chyme or turning into feces type stuff. Okay? But what type of epithelium?
Simple column.
So that's what they're trying to show you, is simple columnar. And you have it anywhere you have absorption or secretion. Or both. There's the stomach filled with gas.
In the rectum, simple columnar as well?
No.
No.
No, because you get bugs up there and you want protection.
Okay. Well, the last slide led to the rectum.
To
Just to it, not
the
end.
rectum, not into the rectum.
Okay.
Cardiac?
Or sphincter.
The junction, you can't call
okay.
it a sphincter. Gastroesophageal junction, cardiac junction, or lower esophageal junction. That's this right here. It's the cardiac region, because it's closest to the heart. Fundus is the round top, just like round in the uterus is the fundus, round on the stomach. You can't leave, there's no outs. What's this here? Body.
Pyloric.
Pyloric region, so pyloric junction would be here. Lesser curvature? Greater curvature. One of these 2 were on the test, or should have been.
Oh.
Rugae?
Greater curvature.
Lesser
Lesser
curvature.
curvature.
What junction? No, it's a sphincter now.
Lower esophageal.
Or
I forgot the.
gastroesophageal, or cardiac. But see, it's not very big because most of us stand up most of the time. So we don't need a lot of sphincter muscle to prevent stuff from coming up. But look at the pyloric sphincter. Look how much muscle is built up right there and there. So, pyloric region, body, fundus is the round end.
And what's the pyloric sphincter connected to?
The duodenum,
Right.
duodenum, whatever they want to say. kind of epithelium?
Simple squamous.
Simple columnar.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a simple columnar, it's either stomach, small intestine, or large intestine. So you have to go, which one is this one? Well, you look at it. Do I see a submucosa?
No.
No, I don't see much of anything going on down here. In the small intestine, there's going to be all kinds of crap going on down here. You're going to see submucosa. You're going to see Peyer's patches. You're going to see all this other stuff. You're going to see lacteals and capillaries in the villi. These are villi. This is the surface. These are holes in the surface because you're looking at it from the side.
So those are gastric pits?
Those are gastric pits. What do villi want to do? They want to increase surface area, right? So would they want to be stacked right next to each other like that?
No.
No, they would want to be spread out. This is the only one of the stomach like this. And it does not show submucosa. It does not show any of the other things that would be associated with small intestines. Plus, I always remember this kind of looks like toes or feathers or small intestine doesn't look like that at all. But when you see this by itself, you're like, oh crap, what is it? Have you toes?
Yes.
Okay.
It's your feet, yes, that's
We told this time.
Okay. Kinky. This is a bad drawing of the stomach. I hate this one. That wasn't on the test anyway. So, small intestines, we have these circular folds that increase what?
Surface area.
What do microvilli increase? Okay, so everything in the small intestines increases surface area. Okay, what's this right here?
I thought the microvilli increase absorption.
They do by increasing.
Okay.
You can touch more stuff, you can absorb more.
Okay.
What's that?
Is it
See.
the esophageal?
You guys are staring at the thing I'm pointing at. That's a Peyer's patch. So where are we?
Intestine.
So that's a villi. See, you guys were looking exactly at what I was pointing at instead of going, oh, hell, this is easy. That's a Peyer's patch. So that must be mucosal layer. This is submucosa. And this is muscularis externa. So all of this is villi crap. Okay? Look at the whole overhead before you make your guess. That's why it's called an educated guess, because you educated yourself with the rest of it. And plus you know some stuff, right?
A little bit.
A little bit. See how it has all the layers? We have mucosal layers, submucosa, muscularis externa, small intestines. Okay, it should be as easy as that. Don't say stomach, because these things, you remember the stomach, all of the things were the same height going all the way across. These are all over the place. There wasn't a submucosa at all with the Wadmo glands, Brunner's glands. I don't know, some guy named Brunner was like, hey, I found a gland. That's how half the stuff is named in the body. This one you shouldn't have any issues with, because those villi are fat. And the microvilli, the goblet cells, the capillary beds, and the lacteal here. Mucosal layer above my hand, submucosa. But you can definitely see that those are villi. They are going to be, in the stomach, the gastric pits didn't have much function except for to produce carcinogen and hydrochloric acid. Here we have secretion and absorption, mucus production, all of that in each villi. What are these? Yeah, you shouldn't even look up here because that looks like menstrual phase. It's all falling apart. Peyer's patches. So small intestines. Where are most of the Peyer's patches? What section of the small intestines?
I don't know.
Ileum. See? You looked at the overhead. Ileum, because what does the ileum attach to? The cecum. The cecum has a whole bunch of what in it? Bacteria. E. coli. So we want our immune system as close to where we go into the large intestine to prevent the E. coli from coming back out. Because the E. coli is great for us when it's in the right place. When it's in the wrong place, it's not so much fun. Okay, this doesn't, like I said before, if I just showed you this and asked you reproductive, a menstrual phase, but I see these, so I'm going Peyer's patches, small intestine. And this Peyer's patch is in the wrong spot. That's why I don't like overheads that are drawn.
We saw that one. Put it in the wrong spot.
And what is this?
Intestine.
This should be easy, small intestine, because of the villi. Large intestine, you should have no issues identifying.
I think
Goblet
we've
cells.
seen this.
Yeah, that one.
All the goblet cells everywhere. That's how you know large intestine, because what are we doing? We're pulling off the water, and we want to get that stuff out, so we have to replace it with mucus to help facilitate feces coming out. Now, what would happen if I increase the absorption of water from the small intestine?
Constipation.
Constipation.
Increase the water or no, or water
Yeah.
absorption?
Yeah, if I
If you
said
bring out
the
more
intestines
water.
are going to increase the water
was a-
absorption.
Intestine.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Both of them.
Yeah.
Diarrhea
And the
and
constipation.
Yeah,
Wow.
both, yeah.
I'm glad I brought that up.
That much I do remember. Yeah.
Just remember, follow the water. If the water is leaving the feces, constipation. If the water is staying with the feces, diarrhea. The shit. She's not paying attention to me.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm in some other zone. I'm so tired.
Internal anal versus external anal. And this goes with the urinary system too. Internal sphincters are going to be what type of muscle? Smooth and involuntary. So you guys are both right.
hair from the test.
No, you can't use it. People got busted for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Busted for what?
Texting and phones and stuff.
Wow.
About 4 years ago.
Oh, for you.
Oh, in lab test.
I heard someone recently, I don't know if it was this campus, but they were cheating. They used Siri, they were asking Siri questions.
And then she repeated the results back, and that's how they got caught.
That's what-
You know what it is? Siri, and when I
They did
she'll say
Siri,
the
the
results.
icon,
That
that lady
and
that
then
talked
that's how
about
they
you,
got caught.
they whispered to her and then she,
You deserve to get caught if you're
Yeah,
using Siri.
No, they were, one was at one end, one was at the other end, and they were like, this
You
one
didn't know
is,
to put the
you know,
earpiece in
4
so you
is
could hear
a,
it?
Oh, the
I-
they should have came up with another method.
they were absolutely.
They were
So, internal is smooth, external, skeletal. So when the internal lets go, and remember, how is the alimentary canal controlled? Is the brain controlling your intestines?
No.
No, what is?
Isn't it autonomic?
It is autonomic, but so is the brain part of it.
I don't know.
Local control.
oh yeah.
It has-
Remember, it's the movement, it's the actual bolus of food or the feces, the stretch that tells the intestines, hey, there's stuff here, I gotta do stuff with it. What tells the stomach to start producing stuff? When the bolus of food hits the stomach, causing it to stretch. What are your 3 stages or phases of gastric secretion? Cephalic. Oh, see? Don't question your brain.
Cephalic, gastro.
Gastric and intestinal. So if you see it, think it, smell it, hear it, that's cephalic. It makes you salivate. Okay? It has anything to do with the head. You'll never guess where the gastric phase begins. In the stomach. When the bolus of food hits the stomach, that causes hydrochloric acid to be released, turning the pepsin into pepsin, breaking down polypeptide or proteins into polypeptides. And then the intestinal phase is when the intestines, when the chyme goes through the duodenum into the small intestines. And then we have the sphincter of Oddi open up, allowing pancreatic enzymes and bile. But it's also a slowdown, because do we want all the stuff out of the stomach at once?
No.
No. Liver, right lobe, left lobe, falciform ligament, ligamentum teres, and function? Store and
Produce.
concentrate.
Oh, concentrate.
What's the liver's function?
Clean.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Filter.
What's the spleen's function? To filter. What's the kidney's function? To filter. What's the liver's function? To filter nutrient-rich blood and produce
Oxygen.
bile.
Produced by.
I'm gonna leave.
What are the two cells of the liver? The hepatocytes and the Kupffer cells. Kupffer cells are white blood cells, so what do? They detoxify. So what do the hepatocytes do?
Make liver cells.
They are liver cells. Filter nutrient-rich blood and produce. Okay. I know I've said this before, but if you work at a car factory, you know, and I said, what's that building? You go to a car factory, cars are made there, and then you watch one of the workers go in and you go, what is his job? You go, oh, I don't know. It's to make cars. Okay, that's what I'm saying. The liver cell does what the liver does. It filters nutrient-rich blood, metabolizes or stores those nutrients, and produces
Bile.
bile. You guys always freak out on that.
So the gallbladder doesn't produce any bile?
No, it stores and concentrates it.
Oh,
That's why you can live without your gallbladder. And there's the shiny part of the ribs nobody likes to eat. What is it?
very something. Very something. I thought
Parietal pleuro.
Oh, that's
Okay.
Peritoneum would be down here, but pleuro would be up there. Right lobe, left lobe, falciform ligament, ligamentum teres, gallbladder's been removed. Left lobe, right lobe, caudate is the tail, and then quadrate would be down here, and it's the square. If you flip it up more, you can see it better, but it's the square that's down here. And
No,
that was on the
yeah,
test.
he loves this part of the body. Every test has something with the kidneys and the test, I swear. Every single test.
So what are these?
I don't even know. I get them all wrong.
Okay, so what are these? What is that? That's large intestine, isn't it? And that's small intestine? So what drains the large intestine? Well, all the small intestine part of the large intestine.
Mesenteric.
Superior mesenteric vein. What drains the rest of the large intestine? Inferior mesenteric vein. So they join together to make the hepatic portal vein. And remember, all the organs from the digestive system in the peritoneal cavity, all their veins join together to make the hepatic portal vein. Because you see the gastric, the splenic. But those are the two main ones, because those are the ones taking nutrients, water, up to the liver to be filtered. So don't just tell me the liver is a filter. I know that. It filters what? Nutrient-rich blood from the small and large intestine. Just like the spleen, what's it filter?
Class?
I'm writing.
Blood for toxins. Doesn't it have lymph nodules in it? Filters stuff. It kills red blood cells because it's filtering the blood. Or the kidneys.
Did we ever learn anything with this?
Yeah.
We never talked
I don't
about
think we talked about it.
We didn't. Yeah, he didn't.
Is it in your lecture notes?
Other than macrophages is what you
Yeah,
talked
it was
about.
in your lecture notes.
We never talked about it.
All right, whatever.
Okay. Other
If
position.
something goes to some macrophages, if somebody goes there to die.
Macrophages kill red blood cells in 120 days.
Somebody goes there today.
Yeah,
That's what we should do with everybody, right? When you reach 80, you just go,
To the macrophages.
yeah, they eat you up.
The
And
red
then,
blood cells go there to die. Don't they?
yeah,
See?
macrophages. Here's one lobule of the liver.
Well, this is like a thyroid today.
Exactly. That looks like the
Not like
colloid.
thyroid.
Yes, it does. The
Oh.
colloid,
Stop,
the
stop.
parafollicular cells.
Because people are going to be like, oh, that must be the thyroid, since everybody was talking about it. Being the
No,
thyroid.
there's no colloid
No.
there. There's no
There are
colloid.
no follicle cells.
No.
No.
This is
So
septa
we
or
have to-
trabeculae.
The,
See the sinusoids, the empty spaces, and the central vein, there's none of that in the middle of a colloid.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? portal triads will be here, but we can't see them too well. But each lobule is one functional unit of the liver. What's that mean?
There's lots of them, and they're all filtering.
They're all individual filters. They all do the function of the liver, which is what?
To filter the nutrient-rich something.
To store and metabolize those nutrients and to produce.
Right.
All right.
The last picture he had on the test, he liked the diagram. He had a model of it.
Oh.
Which diagram?
That one.
This one?
Yeah.
Wow.
He had the model of it. No.
Yeah. He does like it because it shows you hepatocytes. Inside the sinusoid will be the Cooper cells, which you see inside.
Okay.
Central vein, portal triad with the portal vein, bioduct.
The Cooper cells were the ones that
Yeah, that's what he asked for.
So if we go on, we can start to see there's a portal triad here. Sinusoids are just the spaces. Remember, sinus means space. So sinusoids are little spaces traveling down towards the central vein. The dark spots in the sinusoids are the Cooper cells. The cells with cytoplasm, or the pink around them, are the, what are the two choices? Hepatocytes. Cooper cell right there.
Right where? Oh.
Right there, and then hepatocyte right there.
And what is the black?
That is where Cooper cells are doing their job.
Okay. Yeah.
Moga says they're stopping crap. So Cooper cells are there to detoxify, which all white blood cells detoxify. Okay, they detoxify and stop antigens. You guys remember that? This one was on your quiz, I think. Right hepatic duct, left hepatic duct, common hepatic duct, cystic duct. So when the cystic duct and the common hepatic duct join together, you have common bile duct. There's the pancreatic duct coming through. So when they join together, you have the hepatopancreatic duct. And what sphincter is at the end of that? OD. Or the hepatopancreatic sphincter, which nobody likes to call it.
What's going through the pancreatic duct? I think that was on.
Digestive enzymes.
That's
Not insulin. That should have been on the test.
Yeah, that was in this last test.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
said what goes through.
Yeah, it
I
should
said
just be.
digestive enzymes.
That's correct.
Thank God.
Have you
Only,
guys got your results back from your test?
yeah, they're all on. That's over here.
That's why
Only,
we're here. Most people are like from the first test, or I gotta go anyway.
you said only digestive enzymes move through that.
Pancreatic duct.
Okay.
Insulin is a part of the endocrine system, so it's going to be secreted into the tissues.
Oh, that makes sense.
And that's what I thought
The
about. when I was
pancreatic
sitting there.
duct
I was
gets
like, no.
the digestive juices. It's a part of the exocrine system. Oh. So what goes in here?
Digestive enzymes.
Or pancreatic juice. They might use that for digestive. Trypsin, chymotrypsin, carboxypeptidase, lipase, pancreatic amylase.
Can I just borrow your brain on Monday?
Honestly.
Yeah.
Just for a
You're
little
so
bit.
smart.
I'm not smart.
You're
Ask
doing
my wife. She's smarter than I am, she says.
She's
It tells
smarter than
everybody.
No one's smarter than Amy.
No, I don't think I'm gonna meet her.
No, neither. Your mass and our cells, which are serous cells, those produce the enzymes.
Okay.
The endocrine function part is the islet Langerhans. So I shouldn't really go over these too much since you guys just had these.
Yeah.
Like alpha and beta.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
so
was the
there's a
question.
duct, so it's exocrine.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is the endocrine. The alphas are red, betas are blue.
Go
back
back.
to that though.
What?
Which ones are alphas? I mean,
The alphas are
Red.
oh, I didn't even
The
see that
betas are
red.
blue.
Okay.
And then beta
Well,
would be
they're
like
black.
Or like black. Okay.
That was one of our questions, too, but it wasn't in lab, it was on the thing.
So islet of Langerhans, the alphas would be the red ones here, and betas would be those. beginning, so this is submandibular because it's mixed. Remember, white and dark. Oh, let's put out that one. Which one's this one?
Is that one only gland?
They're the same.
They're the same, it's different. Same.
It's submandibular. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
All white.
With a duck.
With a duck. So what salivary gland is it?
I remember seeing this.
What are your 3 salivary glands?
Submandibular.
Lingual.
No, sublingual.
Oh, sublingual.
So sublingual, submandibular, and parotid. So if you remember, those are my salivary glands. You look down, and 2 of those aren't there. It already tells you the answer.
You said sublingual.
Sublingual. Yeah, that's sublingual.
Submandibular. And what's the third?
Parotid, keratoid.
Where is it? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ah, there it is. All dark cells with ducts. Parotid. Doesn't look like the other 2, does it?
And what do they do?
Produce salivary amylase and mucus,
Okay.
because the mucus cells produce what?
Mucus.
Mucus. And serous cells produce enzymes and fluid. Serous fluid and enzymes. All right. So what's the next one? Respiratory? No, not, that's not up here.
Oh man. That's my whole life.
Is this PAL? Where are we?
What?
Are we on PAL? No.
Yeah, well, do we have those or?
Lab images.
I know, but that folder on the drive is empty. One of the was that it? Is that why it's empty?
I have no idea.
Somebody erase some stuff?
No, I've seen it.
And Mr. Mosley said he didn't know. He gave his
I think
flash
we
drive
have
to some
it.
guy and he didn't.
Some tech guy and that it ended up blank. I don't know.
Don't trust the tech guys. And by the way, if anybody has any broken computers at home, I need parts. I fix them for people who can't afford them.
You need parts? Do you pay for these parts?
I can, if they're worth it. Don't
You want a
bring me
battery?
Boat anchor and say, hey. Because I've had people bring in ones from 10 years ago going, hey, here, can I get $50 for this? No, I can't get $50. What's this?
Oh, look at those 3 things.
No, the whole thing. The whole
Oh, the nasal.
Oral
nasal,
cap.
nasal oral cap.
You got some conscious
Oh,
and
yeah, you got some meatus too, yeah.
Yeah.
So, nasal cavity, what's this?
Something sweet.
Sphenoid sinus. So, inferior, middle, superior, concha, inferior, middle, superior, meatus, lacrimal duct, auditory or eustachian meatus, or canal.
huh? What do you? I'm a throat. I don't know.
Say it. Yeah, don't second guess yourself.
Say it.
You keep on saying the right stuff, and then go, no. Don't do that. Your brain is way smarter than you are. You guys do that too. Your brain will say, hey, this is the and you're like, no, why? Stop that. So, nasopharynx, what tonsil is that? What are your 3 tonsils?
Palatine.
Palatine, lingual,
And as one of the terms becomes the adenoid.
pharyngeal, because it's in the nasopharynx.
Is that also the adenoid too?
Adenoids are the swollen ones. I know.
Are
Don't
all
listen to
the
your brain now.
are all the unlabeled ones in the test?
No, there's way too many unlabeled ones, because there's like, what, 25
I mean-
per section, or 25 per test?
So
So there's really 75 overheads we get to choose 50 from. That's why I said if you see one that was on the test, tell me, because you have a good chance of it. And Mogus liked it. He's not going to pull out one everybody got wrong or didn't use. Unless, one of the abdominal ones where he's showing you the peritoneal cavity, those are kind of interchangeable. You just grab one and go, okay, what's that? But this one, hard palate, soft palate, oral cavity, golden cap. What's this back here?
The,
Back where? I mean,
uh,
are we still the
the pharynx,
Yeah, it's a pharynx, okay.
oral pharynx.
Oropharynx. Nasal cavity, nasopharynx, oral cavity, oropharynx.
What's behind that?
There's gonna be some spine here shortly.
Because that looks, I mean, the way it's sitting, it looks like a cavity, but okay.
Ask me about crap. This over here. This one we've already gone over, except for you was facing the other way. This is a good one.
That's all, that one.
Epiglottis,
Epiglottis,
true vocal cord,
true vocal cord,
false
false
vocal
vocal
cord,
cord,
thyroid cartilage,
thyroid cartilage with the laryngeal prominence, cricoid or cricoid cartilage. Yeah, okay, good. Arytenoid.
Yes.
See, you don't have to remember the whole word. So, and the whole thing is,
the whole thing here, the throat,
The oral
larynx.
larynx.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
all of that is the larynx?
Yeah, all this right here.
We can figure it out.
And what was that one thing that was a
What's this back here?
pharynx?
What pharynx?
Oral,
The hell is this?
oh, the laryngeal.
Whatever's in front of it, that's what it's named. Laryngeal pharynx. This would be oropharynx. And what's this down here?
trachea.
That's trachea.
Tracheopharynx.
Esophagus.
Esophagus.
Okay. Nasal cavity, oral cavity, laryngeal cavity, oropharynx, and then
And Mike, you know what?
Esophagus.
I never understood this one thing. Is the pharynx turning into
to the esophagus. Yes, ma'am. Because what is the pharynx for? It's a passageway for food, water, and air.
Okay.
And the air should go where? So, this is now just a passageway for food and water, which is the esophagus.
Okay, so when the epiglottis, well, here's what I don't get. The epiglottis falls down. And when the epiglottis is up, where's stuff going? Okay,
Because we're breathing. Breathe, 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 swallow.
okay. And where
Breathe,
does the
breathe, breathe,
esophagus
breathe.
start now?
Swallow. Huh?
It's not the esophagus right where the epiglottis comes down, is it?
No, it's the esophagus right here.
It's a little below
Yeah. The upper esophageal sphincter is right about here.
the, okay.
But do we ever talk about it? Do we
No.
ask you about it? Who's going to go get something to drink? I'm thirsty.
Where's the
On our
man?
break.
Just to the machine.
I don't care. I'm parched.
Diaphragm.
Diaphragm. Heart.
Mm-hmm.
Lung. Which one?
Left.
Left. Here we have left oblique fissure. So this is left lower lobe, and this is the left upper
I
lobe.
forgot about fissures.
Horizontal or transverse fissure. Right oblique fissure. So if a nurse comes up to you or a doctor and says, I'm oscillating your lower lobes, and they're up here, they need to get them out of the room because they're not a doctor. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Because lower lobes, you have to oscillate from back here. What space is this?
Mediastinum.
Mediastinum. What cavity is this and this?
The
Thoracic.
Well, the whole thing is the thoracic. What cavity is this?
Pleural.
Pleural.
Pleural. I know it's one of them.
You down with OPP?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. That was on the radio on the way here. I was like, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I got satellite.
Yeah, me too.
I'm jamming to the
They
90s
must have had
today.
a throwback Thursday.
What's
This
this?
was on there too.
Diaphragm.
Oh, it's an aorta.
It's a vena cava.
Yeah. It's the vena cava.
Okay.
Why is it the vena cava?
Because it's big.
No, look how thick this
The
is
wall is.
and how thin that one is. The veins are thin.
Mm-hmm. The
arteries are
thick.
thicker. That's
Okay.
really what, I just don't want you to go on the test going, some vessel. Thick aorta, thin vena cava, esophagus, and it goes through the esophageal hiatus, which is the hole in the esophagus, or in the diaphragm.
That was on there.
What surface of the lung is that?
Post.
Because it's got the shiny on it.
I don't know.
Okay, if I ask you what
It's the last
surface of the lung, what are your four surfaces of the lung?
And
Somebody said costal, why are you afraid? Costal, mediastinal, basilar, and apical.
Yeah.
I don't even remember those at all.
Oh, that's coming back.
Now it's coming.
So which one is which, Mike?
Well, doesn't this look like rib impressions? And what's another term for rib?
Coastal.
Yeah, costal. And then apical is the
Child.
and basilar would be, and then the closest to the heart is the mediastinal surface. It's just the surfaces tell you what's right next to it.
Gotcha.
Okay? But if I ask you what layer of the lung this is, that would be,
The costal.
Plural.
well, you guys didn't even know where that, did you?
Layer of the lung.
How about what layer of the pleural cavity is that?
The shiny one.
Visceral.
Visceral.
And
Yeah.
then the parietal would be the shiny, the stuff you don't like to eat on the ribs. Okay, so horizontal or transverse fissure, right oblique fissure, so right lower lobe, right middle lobe, right upper lobe. Left lung, we have left upper lobe, left oblique fissure, left lower lobe. What's this? This should have been on the test.
Yeah.
High one.
The hilus of the lung, which is the portal or gateway into and out of an organ. You guys know that now,
Yeah.
because the kidneys have it, the lymph nodes have it. So, primary bronchus should be going in because air should be going in and out. What's the big blue one?
Vena cava.
This is the lung. What's another term for lung?
Plural.
What do you go to? You go to a pleurologist for your lungs? Yeah. See, you guys don't connect it at all, do you? You think you're in a class and it's different than the real world.
No.
If you go to a specialist for your lungs, they are a pulmonary doctor or pulmonologist, but you don't because they think you're going to get your hands
Pulmonary
right.
vein and then the pulmonary artery.
Right, and which is the blue one?
Vein.
Which one is? No!
Oh no.
Remember,
It switches for
Right.
the lungs.
if it's lungs, if it is anything to do with the pulmonary circuit, it is opposite systemic.
That's the vein.
So veins are red, arteries are blue. Because where do you get your oxygen from? What turns the blood red and blue? Oxygen. You don't get the oxygen from the heart, do you?
No.
You get it from the lungs. The heart's function is just to push the deoxygenated or oxygen poor blood to the lungs. So it must be blue. And anything going away from the heart is a what? Artery. Okay, so just generically think anything to do with the lungs. The arteries are going to be blue, the veins are going to be red.
And same thing for babies, right?
Babies are all jacked up.
Yeah.
It's all mixed up.
They're weird.
Okay.
But with the artery and vein of the umbilical cord, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you're thinking too hard.
I have a question. In the heart model, where the colors switch with the pulmonary, you probably don't even know. You probably have never even seen the heart models. But someone who has, on the heart model, are the pulmonary veins red or blue?
Blue.
I said that in a study session, and everyone looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, oh,
You were in
am I wrong?
a study session with a whole bunch of people who were.
What are you talking about? Those heart models that you sit on the
Yeah,
table?
those. Where the
They're
colors
blue.
switched, like
Yeah.
they are here.
They are.
Okay,
I can do that with 100% guarantee. Yes, they are.
okay.
So you were right. They were wrong. Nana nana boo boo.
Those are some points that I lost right there.
Well, don't rely on other people. What are the red ones here?
Those are the veins.
Yeah, pulmonary veins.
Pulmonary.
Okay, and then this would be the left lung because we have the cardiac notch. Or what surface is this? Mediastinal, there's the
I thought that was
basilar
the back
surface.
of the lung.
It's the side.
It's the side.
Yeah. Don't throw stuff. Lung. Mogus loves to show you people that don't smoke and people that do smoke.
It's his ad camp.
They're both dead. It doesn't matter. You know, if you're in a car accident, it doesn't matter if you smoked or not. Okay? I'm not saying go out and smoke, but most of the time when they're trying to show you the difference between smokers and non-smokers, both people are dead. So it didn't help that they did smoke.
Right.
Oh, Lord.
He didn't smoke for a few years anyway.
Me? I've never.
Oh, you missed out.
Oh.
I was too cheap.
That's why I quit. 2 $2 a pack. I was like, oh, this is crazy.
What?
Now it's like, what, $6?
Okay.
Okay, right lung, left lung, who cares? They're dead.
She's stuck. She has a good.
Okay, even though this is a smoker's lung, which lung is this?
That is the.
This is
That's
the
the right.
Right, because there's 3 lobes.
Yes, that's 3 lobes.
And Mogus likes to show you, this person didn't smoke, so there's no crap in it.
Wait, go back to that
Oh,
one more time.
Which one?
Which, this fissure, the one you said that you can't,
Horizontal fissure,
the one that you can't isolate from the back.
right
three
oblique
lobes.
fissure. Because
So how is
this
this
is
lung sitting?
like
So
this.
We're looking,
Sideways.
you're looking at it from this point of view,
okay,
not this one.
Oh, it's
okay,
pointing
Looking
the
at
back side.
this.
Is pointing.
Because that's what you can see.
okay,
The right lower lobe is right here, so that's what you're seeing right there.
okay.
Doesn't
So which
help
way,
you,
hold on, which part of this is closest to the heart?
The other side,
But what does that do?
the hilus is sitting on the table.
I guess I just never understood why I understood how the lung
That
is
might-
in the body. It doesn't sit.
No, I haven't heard it. I
Angle
just
it
didn't know
on
how
the
it related to
Yeah.
that. Oh my god.
It's all, the heart's the center.
Right,
So the hilus are facing the heart.
okay.
So this is this side here. You're looking down to this side.
Okay, okay.
You just like me doing all this.
Go for it. I got a few dollars in my purse, keep going.
I need some money. Baby needs some shoes.
Isn't that a song?
A few of them. Now here, somebody who smokes, who lives in the city or lives somewhere where they don't have good control over smog or anything, you get crap built up in your lungs because the cilia don't work anymore. So a lot of smokers have a what? A cough, because they have to get that mucus up somehow.
Yeah.
Larynx with the laryngeal prominence. So, because if I would have said, what is this, you guys would all say trachea. That's the larynx. Sits on top of the trachea. Here's the carina, which is the split. Primary bronchus on the left. Secondary bronchi, and all these are tertiary. This is my right primary bronchus, right secondary, and right
And
secondary.
which one is primary, because I missed that on the test.
Primaries are the first ones to come off from the trachea.
Okay,
So left primary, right primary.
okay.
Secondaries are boom, boom, and then there's another one back here we can't see because there's 3 lobes. There's 3 secondaries.
So the
On the
larynx,
left, there's 1, 2.
the larynx is on top of the trachea, and the pharynx turns into the esophagus.
Yes.
Good God, it only took me 4 months, right?
We haven't been
It
here.
hasn't been 4 months.
It seems like it.
Anywhere you see hyaline cartilage microscopic, it is the trachea.
Yeah.
If you've been in my class, you know that should be like in your dreams.
What you teach this class?
Well, he
Yeah, every
comes
Thursday.
this lab every Thursday.
I've never been here.
I know. I haven't seen you.
When you walked in, I was like,
haven't
who's
seen
that
her
guy?
either. Or who else haven't I? You haven't seen you. But everybody else I've seen at least once.
Really?
Mhm.
Good.
He's never seen it.
He said he had.
You've been here before.
Yep.
No, she's lying.
Last Thursday.
No, she was here before.
I was here.
Last
I don't
Thursday.
believe you. Oh, was you? I believe you, but I don't.
Okay, we have hyaline cartilage, chondrocytes and lacuna, matrix, perichondrium. But if you see that, think trachea. So you can go, what type of epithelium is this? It's pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. And then we have goblet cells, but you don't have to think about it too hard after that. You don't have to go, I don't recognize this.
Right.
You go, that's the trachea. That's the type of epithelium that should be in the trachea.
Okay.
Does that make more sense? Or some sense? So where are we?
Trachea.
Trachea.
Okay, we have the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium.
The goblet cells.
The goblet cells would be the wider cells up here. Air conduction. There's no gas exchange in the trachea, bronchi. Don't do that. There's none of that in us. What's this out here on the outside? Adventitia.
Yeah.
What's this? Trachea. Okay, good job. There you go.
Back to the
Why
adventitia.
do I have to go back?
Well, you know. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. You know this is trachea. You know this is epithelium, so that's pseudostratified
I was gonna say, to
ciliated.
me, that looks like adipose, so,
Adipose, adventitia doesn't have adipose in it.
okay, that's
Just
all.
know, if they point over here, adipose isn't going to be one of the answers.
Okay,
They're going to ask for adventitia.
okay,
It starts with A, right?
right, okay.
So if you don't see adipose as one of your
Look at us.
answers, you just
Fat goes everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
You have 3 kids and you get,
You have no.
It's a-
Is this cartilage, this, the googly eyes?
yes.
Highland aliens.
I'll make
Andrew.
it makes up the trachea.
These things.
Okay.
C shapes of the trachea, and then the complete circles of the bronchi. Because it's going to be all the way through, but on the overhead, I see hyaline cartilage on that side. That's the trachea. What's this thing over
the
here?
epic. The
Esophagus.
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 I don't know how I was going to say
It started with E.
I knew what I meant.
So here's trachea, esophagus.
That was on a test.
Now the trachea
Oh, God, yeah, it looks like a
stays
prostate.
open, esophagus collapses.
Okay. Well, no, that
It looks like
good
it.
too.
What? Where?
That one. Right with the squishy movement.
It's got a urine too.
Yeah,
It looks like the ear.
it does.
They are, well, all
Or the
tubes
prostate,
collapse.
right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, all the
So
tubes
maybe
collapse
that's why
because they don't want to stay open because they take up too much space.
So that's the esophagus and the bigger one with the trachea.
Yeah, because the trachea has the tracheal bands that fold it open. And then what is this?
Pseudocyte.
Pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. This is where you have air conduction. So anything with trach or bronch in the name is going to be pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Anything with alveole in the name,
Gas exchange.
gas exchange, so it's going to be simple squamous or squamous. Oh, pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium with goblet cells. Oh,
That's a big
that's a
drawing.
drawing, and that's a bad drawing too.
So
All 3 of those, all of those were on the test, along with
That
the
was
That one and that
that.
one?
Yep, that was on there.
What the hell? Why is he using these?
And then he
That
said, "What is
wasn't
this?"
on ours,
And he
but-
just
he
circled the whole
wanted
thing.
us to know about the bundles there. The alveoli.
The alveoli?
No, I think he wanted gas exchange.
Gas
Said,
exchange.
"Where does-"
Gas exchange happens down here. Air conduction's up
Do you
there.
remember that urine lab? He said, "Where does like he broke it off right here, and then he talked about gas exchange." You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I hate
Because this is a respiratory bronchiole right here. And respiratory bronchioles, it has bronch in the name, so it has pseudostratified ciliated, right? But it also has respiratory, which means gas exchange. So the respiratory bronchiole is the dividing point between air conduction and gas exchange.
Okay.
So this is all gas exchange.
But I think he just told us, did he say after the tertiary?
No, he didn't say any of those names. He just pointed to the top of it where the
Where
alveoli.
the alveoli start?
Yeah.
And said, what is this down here? That's gas
What?
exchange.
Yeah. What?
Right. But the alveoli don't start until after the end of the tertiary, right?
It goes, you can go through it real quick. Nasal pharynx, oral pharynx, laryngeal pharynx, larynx, trachea, primary bronchus, secondary bronchus, tertiary bronchus, bronchioles, terminal bronchioles, respiratory bronchioles, then
That was
alveoli.
the terminal bronchioles. At the end of the terminal bronchioles is when the gas exchange starts.
Right, because it's the respiratory bronchiole at that point.
Wait.
I was going in.
Okay. That is the terminal bronchiole.
Well, yeah, terminal, and then it'd be respiratory here because it has alveoli attached to it. As soon as you start to see the simple squamous, it becomes respiratory bronchiole, and then by the time you get down here, it's just all alveoli, so this would be the alveolar sac.
Now, what was the, wait, go back one more time.
One more.
Where's this?
That's the trait.
It could be anywhere there's gas or air conduction,
Okay, go forward. Thank you.
because simple squamous is for gas exchange. That's
That
why our
wasn't
cap,
gas exchange.
huh?
That wasn't, those were
This-
pseudo-stratified. No, back.
Air conduction.
Oh, air conduction. Okay.
See, capillaries are what type of epithelium? Simple squamous for gas exchange, right?
Yeah.
So what are alveoli? Simple squamous for gas. The body doesn't go, oh, I'm going to use something else here. It uses the same stuff. Okay, simple squamous for capillaries, simple squamous for alveoli for gas exchange.
But I just want to make sure this whole area is gas exchange.
Everything here, anything with an alveoli on it, because this is a respiratory bronchiole here. See? Respiratory bronchiole, so it has gas exchange in it.
Okay.
Because the respiratory bronchiole is both for conduction and gas exchange.
Carbon dioxide and
Duh. They're exchanging.
Okay, see how thin this is? Simple squamous. So your respiratory membrane is simple squamous epithelium with the basement membrane, simple squamous epithelium with the basement membrane, sandwiched together. That should have been a test question. So each one of these circles is an alveoli, a group of them is an alveolar sac. A path is an alveolar duct. There's no duct, there's no simple or cuboidal epithelium.
Don't do that.
Hurry up.
This is a test question. I'm going to get it right this time.
Here's a respiratory bronchiole. And do I look up here and go, I know that pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium? No, I go like this. Okay, that's kind of thin, that's kind of thin, that's kind of thick. So I'm going thick, thinner, 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 and then it goes away. So I know this is conduction into gas exchange. So respiratory bronchiole. And then here, see how it's thick here and thin there? Right when we get down to here, it's all thin. So this would be an alveolar duct. So it would go respiratory bronchiole into alveolar duct, alveolar sac, alveolus. And then the oxygen would transfer over. What you yawning? See, here it's easier. This is the only drawing I like. Because you have thick, thin, thick, thin, thick. So this is a what? Respiratory bronchiole. The ducts are actually simple squamous epithelium. They are part of the respiratory. Because what are they called? Alveolar duct. And anything with alveole in the name is going to be what?
Gas exchange.
It's simple squamous. Right?
What are those?
That's a bronchial and an arterial.
Okay.
So here, bronchial, arterial. Here's another respiratory bronchiole. See how it's thick and thin? Alveolus, alveolar sac, and then when we get out here, alveolar ducts. Right there. Oh. So respiratory bronchiole right here, because we have thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin. Alveolar sac. There's an arterial. Bronchial, arterial, because you need air and you need blood for gas exchange.
Does the arterials provide air?
No, they provide the blood. Bronchial provides the air.
You know
Which
that.
one's the bronchial?
The one that looks like
Yeah.
Okay.
right.
Okay, squiggle. liquids.
Yeah. There's
Go
another
back, go back.
No.
Yeah. You gotta be, so we taking pictures.
Oh, there are people taking pictures?
Because this stuff been on there.
Ron Gill? All right, good job. Now, we need surfactant also, because you can't diffuse through a dry membrane. It has to be moist. So you have to have water in there, and water likes to form droplets. And we don't want water to form droplets. We want it to coat a surface. So surfactant decreases surface tension, so it lines the cavity. And then we also have these things everywhere, which are macrophages. They're going to be anywhere we have a chance of getting an infection, which is everywhere. There's a alveolus with macrophages in it. There's the respiratory membrane I was talking about. We have the simple squamous epithelium and the basement membrane, and simple squamous epithelium and basement membrane. They sandwich together so you can allow oxygen to diffuse and carbon dioxide to diffuse. And then, of course, on the air side, or what type of respiration is this?
Can we have choices?
Yeah, there's two of them.
Inspiration and expiration.
No. Internal and
Internal.
external.
You beat me to it.
So this is what?
Internal.
No, external. Where are we getting the oxygen from?
Outside.
Outside.
The air. Internal respiration is from cell to cell. External respiration is from outside to cell.
Yeah.
I know you did. You're just tired.
I know.
You've been working
How do
too
we know
hard.
that this
My
is
brain is
outside?
Huh?
How do we know that this is outside?
Because this is the alveolus.
That's
And it's not cell to cell.
No, it's not considered.
intercellular.
It's not considered inside the body. The air that's in our lungs is not considered to be a part of us or inside of us. It's a direct tube that comes back out. Just like anything in the alimentary canal is not considered to be inside of us. It's just going through our tunnel.
Right.
Okay.
The deep, dark tunnel.
Death.
Okay. Diaphragm contracts, we inhale. Diaphragm relaxes, we exhale. Okay, good. This should have been on the test.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Go pray here. You're in anatomy class. We believe in evolution here.
I mean, I take God with me everywhere. So sorry.
Right.
He is my traveling
No.
companion.
Evolution is not perfect. The theory is not. But what's not beautiful about being able to adapt to your own environment? Everybody does. I just don't think we evolved from little fishies. I'm sure some aliens came down and did stuff. Okay, what is this right here? It's the air you breathe in and out every minute, every day. It's the tidal volume. So it's the air you utilize for diffusion. So is it always the same amount?
No.
No. So we have to allow for spaces so you can increase or decrease the tidal volume. So my expiratory reserve volume is the air that's still in my lungs that I could have pushed out. But you push out all the air you can every time you breathe out.
No.
No. Just like inspiratory reserve volume, do you breathe in as much as you can every time you breathe? No, but there's space for you to do it, right? Okay, so that when you start to exercise, tidal volume increases, so inspiratory and expiratory reserve volumes decrease. So that allows for that to happen. Isn't that what happened?
You said they both decrease?
The inspiratory
Yeah.
and expiratory, because what's inspiratory reserve volume? I breathe in more, and expiratory reserve volume is I exhale more. So it allows for that expansion of the tidal volume. Okay? So tidal volume is the air you use. So if I'm at rest, yeah, it's kind of steady. But if I start to go do the stairs, I have to inhale more and I have to exhale more. So these three volumes are what I use to get oxygen in and carbon dioxide out. More important to get carbon dioxide out, because you die more quickly with too much carbon dioxide. But all of them together are vital capacity, because it's what I use to get oxygen and carbon dioxide diffusion. But air is trapped in our lungs at all times. Okay? Our alveoli have to be open at all times, because if they collapse, they're like wet paper bags. They collapse, they stick to each other, you gotta inflate them again. Okay? And your body doesn't like to do that, they'll collapse. So residual volume is the air that's trapped in your lungs at all times to keep the alveoli open. You cannot breathe this out. You can if somebody hits you with a baseball bat right about your diaphragm. Okay? But then what happens? Your lung collapses. And then they have to stick a tube in between your ribs to get the pressure out to allow the lung to pop back up.
Yeah, I thought you said expiratory was what was left in the lungs.
Now, expiratory reserve volume is the air that you could push out, but you didn't. Residual volume is the air you can't. Wait.
Okay. That was getting everything. Okay.
You will.
Okay.
All right.
I hope so.
Okay.
Oh,
And do you really kill brain cells every time you hold in your breath? Are you really killing
I've done a lot more than that to kill brain cells. Breathing doesn't do much. You have enough brain cells in there. No, but every time you do pass out and you do lose consciousness, yeah, you do kill brain cells, but there's billions of them in there that you don't use anyway. You just hope it's not one that
you?
Yeah. That's why people who have multiple surgeries aren't quite right in the head either, because once you go under the knife a few times with all those, the milk of amnesia, propofol. Nobody's heard of the milk of amnesia? It's the white propofol, the stuff Michael Jackson killed himself with.
Right.
That's the stuff that they put you under for surgery.
That you shouldn't have at home.
No, you shouldn't have it at home.
But if you're Michael Jackson, you can have anything else.
Yeah.
But look what it did for
You
you.
can have that at home.
It's better than before.
Okay, what is X blood?
No, I'm not playing that. Why would you ever? What kind of game is that?
Yeah, that's too hard.
Somebody told me.
That's not a game.
I'm doing blood.
How?
Blood's easy, and then we're gonna go, and someone's gonna give you a drink, and I'm gonna go over the rest of it. No, you don't get to go anywhere. I know.
Here today.
I'm gonna have to try to get. What do you need me to go over the most? After this, I'll go over the heart.
I have never understood the flow of the heart. And when I say never, I mean I missed every single question
Oh, yeah.
about the flow of the heart.
Don't say it's easy.
You can remember what these stuff like.
It's
I don't
easy to me.
remember.
Huh?
It was easy to me.
I know, but when you say that, the other people are like,
Okay.
I hate you now.
You're a terrible person.
That's like people that go out and look at their grade and go, that test was easy, while other people crying in the corner.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
That's me.
Okay, eosinophils, if it has "phil" at the end of the name, it's going to have granules. Okay? And the neutrophil, you're barely going to see the granules, but you're going to see the multiple lobes of the nucleus. And how does it go? Never let monkeys eat bananas?
Yeah.
Neutrophils are going to be the most abundant. So if you see an overhead with a whole bunch of, white blood cells on it, guess what they're going to be? Neutrophils. Don't think any harder than that. And then lymphocytes are the second most abundant. So if there's two different kinds up there, you're probably going to go neutrophils and lymphocytes. If it has site at the end, it doesn't have granules. But basophil doesn't look like this at all on the overheads. It looks like all granules. You can't even see the nucleus, and they're blue. So remember, basophil blue or purple. Eosinophils start with E. What do the red blood cells start with?
E.
E. What color are they?
Red.
So this is going to be red, and you can start to see the nucleus a little bit, but there's going to be all kinds of red granules. And these are the hardest to find. So they're going to be the ones that are in the center of the overhead projection slide, because they're proud to find them. Because it takes a good half hour to find one. So whoever finds it is going to be like, yep, right there, take that picture, it's great. But to get a lymphocyte or a neutrophil, Monocyte's going to be the biggest, and it's going to have a U-shaped nucleus. No granules. And the lymphocyte's going to look like an eclipse. Okay? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there they are again. Neutrophil. Okay, see how it looks like a dog whip? Okay.
A what?
A dog went.
Oh, poop.
A pile of shit. How's
I'm
that?
with you now. Now I understand.
But look, see how we have an
they're
overhead?
gonna
They
be
didn't
baby
focus on
food.
anything. They just took a picture of blood. And of course there's going to be white blood cells in there. There's a neutrophil, lymphocyte, lymphocyte. You're not going to find a basophil like this.
Okay.
Like I said, it's going to be a big one in the middle because they're happy to find it.
Oh.
You know, just like if they're taking a picture of you, where are you going to find your face? Right. Ah. They're not going to be like. Okay. So lymphocyte, neutrophil, platelets, erythrocytes. Neutrophil is up here. Lymphocyte is down there. See, that looks like a eclipse or a half moon or
And which
crescent
one
moon.
was a platelet?
The dark spots.
Okay, yeah.
So lymphocyte, neutrophil, 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 lymphocyte.
No, you said one is the largest and one is the most.
Monocyte is the largest. Most abundant. It goes, never let monkeys eat bananas.
Okay.
Neutrophils are biggest, or not biggest.
Most abundant.
Lymphocytes are tight second. So if I'm looking up here and I see 2 neutrophils, I'm not going to be. If I see 2 basophils, something's wrong with the overhead. So what's that one? Monocyte. See how much bigger it is than the red blood cell? You look back here. Neutrophils are, 3 times bigger. But see the U-shaped nucleus? What's that? Monocyte. Monocyte. You'll see granules. You'll see granules. You won't see the nucleus. I see the
Okay.
nucleus.
That's right.
With a basophil, you see granules everywhere.
That's
Says
right.
it.
It looks like a BlackBerry?
Yeah, it does.
Not your
That's
phone.
Right.
Oh my. No.
Like the real ones.
That's right. Now.
So what was that, a lymphocyte?
Lymphocyte. 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 Oh!
There we go. There's
Yeah,
a
see,
baby.
you know it when you see it. Basophil. There's another base. Hey, look. Isn't it pretty in the center?
It is.
No.
Looks like the
Oh,
sun.
basophil. What are these? Neutrophils. Neutrophils. Neutrophil. Lymphocyte.
Eosinophil?
Yeah. Yeah, see how this is red? And that's red. Yeah, eosinophil.
That's a good trick.
Neutrophil. Lymphocyte. 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 Neutrophil. Lymphocyte. Neutrophil. Monocyte. Monocyte. And neutrophils. All 3 of them are neutrophils. 4. Yeah, I can't count. And then neutrophil. And I don't like this one because they say that's the lymphocyte, which, and that's the basophil, which they're not the best of pictures. I doubt they had this one on the test. Monocyte down there, eosinophil, neutrophil. All right, hurry up, you got 8 minutes, and then we got to go rush through cardiac. And then that's probably all we're going to get through. 8:30. Oh, it's like a movie, right? You didn't even know the time was going by while I was up here talking so much.
I wish you was my instructor.
I need Mexican candy. And the store's gonna close.
Yeah, that's probably what you're.
Which one are you going to?
Look, I'm sitting here rethinking this. I don't know if I want to do all this. This sounds like way too much work this weekend. A whole semester.
But then again, it's 2 more days. It's 2 more days.
I have something else to do. I have a PowerPoint. I
You don't
gotta
have
do a
time for this.
report on thing I can say is it won't hurt.
Right.
I won't be any worse off than I was, but I'll be using that time better.
That's true. See him all the time. All the time. Oh my goodness.
I don't have time. I'm tired.
I know you do.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
My whole summer is gone.
Well, we had 3 weeks. I was lucky today. Somebody dropped microbiology and I slid right in there.
Is your water?
Not that I know of. Do you know of a water fountain on here?
It's all the way down and turn left.
Oh, they do have water in that machine.
Yes.
I didn't drink no water. Oh no.
Wow. I wonder what it's going to be like. I wonder if it's going to be easier. I feel like it's going to be easier. I think it's going to be really
I feel
simple.
like I haven't remembered enough. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
Hey, Jennifer.
Yes.
5:30. Probably your class.
The whole class?
For microbiology?
No, for this Sunday.
Oh, I don't care.
Study.
Anytime after 10 o'clock in the morning. You guys let me know.
No, I'm not. I want everything.
We'll put on some comfy pants and we're gonna we'll put on some comfy pants and we're gonna hunt down.
I won't have anywhere to go.
I wish there was a lecture review.
So how does this, the comprehensive fund, so there's 50 questions in here, 50 slides, and they're each a point.
No, there is going to be some like all of our other tests.
So each one is worth 2 points for those.
No, because the lecture exam is 150.
Right?
Yeah.
And then this is 50. So this is only worth 1, because there's 50 slides, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or there's 25 slides, 50 slides.
50 slides.
50 slides worth a point apiece. And then that's...
Are there extra lecture questions? Are there 150 lecture
Yeah.
questions? Are there really?
Mm-hmm.
That's killer. Wow.
And he's not current on any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Who does the comprehensive?
No, because as far as I know.
Oh,
Well, Tim will do the first one, won't he, at 8 a.m. or 8:30?
Oh, is there 2?
oh, it's not. You don't come during your class period?
That's what I thought. Did you come during your class period?
I assume that's what it was.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Probably should find that.
All I know
Probably
is mine is
fine print
Monday,
the
so.
syllabus. That's it.
Yeah.
What does it say on the syllabus?
I don't know.
I would
I didn't
assume you
look.
just come as your normal class period and just take it.
Yeah, but I wonder who does that.
Because I don't know if the comprehensive final is 1 day and 1 day only. You know, I don't know.
I wouldn't think so because that wouldn't be fair to the other kids. Like that would, I'm just taking them like today.
That's okay.
But since,
Nobody.
but since they didn't say anything, I think if it was special instructions, they would have said something.
Yeah.
How many points do I need? 25? Wait. 13. Wow. 2 systems? Uh-huh. Oh. Wow. 2 systems, about an hour. Just to go over 2.
Here.
Yeah. We went over 2 PowerPoints. It took that long. I hope it's straight anatomy. And not like, what is the function of this?
Well, this won't be, I don't think.
You don't think, I feel, because you know he likes to do that. The what organ is this from? What does this do? What does this carry blood to?
He may not do that because he's not going to want to be here. I think he's so ready to be, with this to be over with and go on with his little life. But, kind of glad it's all slides, so.
Will there be model pictures on there?
Okay, we're gonna try to run through
But he didn't say
the
what we want.
circulatory and try to get to renal, but I don't know.
Are there going to be model pictures?
No,
on
no
there?
models, it's all overheads for the,
I mean,
Lab
like
findings.
pictures of the models.
no, there's not gonna be pictures. It's all the overheads that you've already seen.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Well, because you know, in the
And-
102 folder, there's
Pictures of models.
I know, I took all those pictures.
You didn't know.
Huh?
They're terrible pictures.
I know, they were taken with probably a 2 megapixel picture camera 15 years ago.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've been doing this for a minute.
So tell us what's in the final.
What's on the final?
Yeah.
75 overheads, you break it down into 50, so 50 overheads. And that's it.
Have you ever administered a final?
Yes.
Are there function questions on there? Or is it
You
straight?
cannot
and then-
separate lab and lecture.
Fine. Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Were there those type of questions on the, yeah, like what enzyme is produced here?
Mhm.
What, yeah, what's the function of this cell? Yeah, that can be, but it's what you take away the most from this class is what the final's gonna be about. It's
What-
what we went over the most.
everything.
Digestive in the heart.
I don't know. What did we do? in the
Well,
final?
from each test, what did we emphasize the most about? What were the questions everybody should have gotten right because we talked about it so much?
Everything.
If you don't
I'm
see-
not asking you. I'm just saying.
Right.
Right.
Think
in your
on it.
head, because it's not going to be every question everybody got wrong on the test.
Where'd you find that orange? On the second floor, the break room?
Yeah. I'm tired. I don't want to work tomorrow.
Call in.
I can't. I'm the only person who does my job.
Take a job like that.
Job security.
What do they do now?
Yeah, that's true too.
There's no such thing as job security.
What do you do?
They'll
That's so
just hire
special.
somebody else and pay them less money and less
You have to
benefits.
do what you do.
Have you never been downside before?
I
Let me
was
tell
laid
you
off
about
in
that.
Yeah, he
November.
was. That's why he's doing what
I
he's
was
doing.
laid off in November with
Absolutely.
that rip.
No such thing anymore as job security.
We don't need to look at the models. Why are they up there? That one shouldn't have been on there because of all the labels. But remember, what does it do? Superior vena cava, aorta, pulmonary trunk. Sac.
Aren't you a lucky person? I'm blessed.
So here we have, and this one they'll have with labels and without, so it could have been on the test. Well, we have the thymus on top. What's this over on this side?
Brachiocephalus? No, it's not.
The internal jugular.
It's labeled too.
Internal jugular. Remember, brachiocephalics have to have both head and arms together. Okay? So if I'm in the neck, it'll be jugulars for the vein. So this is my left internal jugular, this is my right internal jugular. Now if I go down, my left internal jugular and my left subclavian vein join together to make the left brachiocephalic vein. Coming up, I don't see the aortic arch, but the first vessel off the aortic arch is the brachiocephalic artery, giving rise. Where's my right subclavian artery? I can't even. Right subclavian artery right here. See it come up and over? And then the right common carotid. And here's my left common carotid. Remember, the common carotids are going to be medial, and the jugulars are going to be lateral, and they're going to be thicker, almost like wet paper bags, if they're not full of blue. What artery is that one?
Subclavian.
Right, because here's my subclavian vein, so my subclavian artery should be right next to it. Don't freak out and say femoral or something like that. What layer of the pericardium is this?
Visceral.
Parietal.
Oh, okay.
Remember, parietal makes the sac. Visceral is on the organ. groceries, you grab a can of beans or whatever. When you touch the can of beans, that's visceral. When you put it in the bag is parietal. That's how all organ systems work. What cavity is
What are you
this?
pointing to?
That is
What cavity is this?
the rest.
Medium
Yeah.
Pericardial.
Pericardium.
Because this is the pericardial sac, pericardial space, pericardial cavity. The mediastinum is this whole thing here.
That's what the heart sits in, right?
Yeah, but they won't have mediastinum and pericardial cavity as A and B. If they do, you're screwed. Always facing you is the right ventricle. The left ventricle is bigger and starts here and is on the back,
Right.
not left. This is my right atrium, right coronary artery, marginal artery. What's this coming down? Sap.
Sap.
Superior vena cava, aorta, pulmonary trunk.
I meant to say that. It wouldn't come
Sap,
out.
sap, sap, sap.
I knew
Sap.
that.
Superior vena cava, aorta, pulmonary trunk. That's how it goes. You remember liver, stomach, spleen?
Liver.
I thought that
Superior vena cava, aorta, pulmonary trunk. Sap
Liver.
is across the top.
pulmonary trunk laid across the aorta.
No, the aorta goes over it.
I was gonna say, it's like behind it. That's the
The aorta goes over the pulmonary trunk. So here we have my left subclavian or right subclavian vein, right internal jugular vein, right brachiocephalic vein, superior vena cava. Left subclavian vein is right here. Left internal jugular vein, left brachiocephalic vein, superior vena cava. Ascending aorta with aortic arch. First vessel off the aorta is the brachiocephalic artery, giving rise to the right subclavian and right common carotid arteries. There's my left common carotid artery, and here's my left subclavian artery. If you're looking at arteries, they look like roots or carrots. Veins look like wet paper, wet little paper bags. This is the same heart. See this? Without lungs, this is before they took the lungs out. So we have right auricle, so right atrium's underneath, right coronary artery, marginal artery. Here's the anterior interventricular artery. What ventricle is this?
Right.
Right ventricle is always facing the front. Okay?
And which one of those was the ventricular artery?
Anterior interventricular artery is this one here. Because it's between the ventricles. Right ventricle and left ventricle is on the other side.
Put that arrow on it again, please.
The squiggly line.
Honey, they're all squiggly.
I know, those all are anterior interventricular artery.
Okay.
Everything right there. The right side is also known as what side? Pulmonary. The left side is systemic. Which side is for external respiration?
Right.
The right, because it pumps to the lungs, right? The left is for internal respiration, because it takes the oxygen-rich blood and sends it to the tissues. So the right side of the heart has what type of blood in it? Or oxygen poor. I hate deoxygenated because it never does go all the way oxygen. You know, it doesn't lose it all.
Oxygen poor.
But on the testing, I'm just my head.
That's fine.
And then oxygen-rich blood in the left side of the heart. Any of those test questions?
Maybe.
Okay. I don't see the superior vena cava, but I do see the aorta. And what's this?
Pulmonary trunk.
Pulmonary trunk. A lot of people want to say left auricle or left atrium for some reason. It's the same thing again. It's closer. So same right coronary artery, marginal artery, anterior jugular artery, right ventricle, right auricle, ascending aorta with aortic arch. There's the brachiocephalic artery giving rise to the right subclavian and right common carotid arteries. Left common carotid artery. Here's my left subclavian vein, left internal jugular vein, left brachiocephalic vein. Right subclavian vein, right internal jugular vein, right brachiocephalic vein. Superior vena cava would be right behind here. So there's the descending aorta. So what side of the body are we on?
You're looking at the right.
Oh, right.
We're on the left side.
Right, looking to the
Right. You're looking. Because also there's the apex of the heart, which points where?
Towards
Towards the left. Down to the left. So we're on the left side. This is all left side stuff. So in between the ribs is intercostals. The hemiazygous vein is on the left side. The azygous is on the right side. And the azygous is the one that drains the thoracic cavity, both sides. Here's the hilus of the lung. So pulmonary artery, pulmonary veins, primary bronchus. Here is your phrenic nerve going down to the diaphragm. And you see this little squiggly guy here? That's the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve increases or decreases cardiac output.
Increases. Decrease.
The vagus nerve is the #1 parasympathetic nerve. So parasympathetic nervous system is rest and digest, which is going to decrease cardiac output, which is heart rate, contractility, but it's going to increase what? Digestion and urine production. Remember, what's parasympathetic?
Slows
Rest
down.
and digest and make pee-pee. How's that?
Vegas slows down.
How do you feel after Thanksgiving? Oh, you're going to rest and digest. Or after 12 hours on the floor,
Excited and happy.
you're going to crash and you're going to pee. You can drink, two 32-ounce Mountain Dews and not have to pee the whole time you're running around taking care of patients. As soon as you're home, you go home and pee, and then you sit down for a minute, and guess what you got to do again? Pee. And then later on in life, you have hypertension, and you're going to be put on medication.
Sounds like someone is familiar with that scenario.
This one, again, we've already seen. Now this, if you see valves closed, they are semilunar valves.
Yeah.
If they are open, they are, if you can see some are closed and some are open. So what comes out of the center of the heart? The aorta. So there's the aortic semilunar valve. What's that one? Pulmonary semilunar valve. What sound does this one make?
Dub.
Dub.
I second that.
I know, but you're going to love that. I got
I said dub.
All right. What sound does this one make? Dub. They both make dub.
Yeah.
They're both semilunar valves. They both close at the same time.
Oh, that's right.
I know. These are AV valves. So how do you figure out the AV valves? You go from the corner out. Corner out. This is thinner than this one. What side of the heart's thinner?
Right.
So this is my tricuspid valve. And this is my bicuspid valve. What sound does this one make?
Love.
Love.
S1.
And then what's this one make?
Love.
They make love during
Love,
QRS.
love. They make love.
QRS.
Yes.
You went through that. Thank you.
I already told you guys, or did I miss that one?
No, I had it written down.
Okay, then, yeah, I
I
said
must
it
have
already.
been not here at that moment.
During T, the semilunars make dub. During QRS, the AV valves make love. With the Barry White music and the candles and the flowers. Is it Barry White anymore? Who is it now? R. Kelly, he peed on people, so no. I'm not going to go with that. Dave Chappelle did right on that one.
Oh yeah.
Pee on you. fight that one with Africa. With his line
Yeah.
there.
Horrible.
There's threatening.
Whatever.
What did you say doing tea?
that real, Pete?
What do they do doing tea? They do?
Yeah.
Who? R. Kelly?
Yeah, he peed on some people.
Wasn't it one person?
Well, if you get it on video, I'm pretty sure it's more than one person. If you're going to go, hey, let's do this. I haven't tried this before. So what's in the center?
Aorta.
And see how it's closed? So aortic semilinear valve, and this is pulmonary semilinear valve. Look how much thicker the aorta semilinear valve, the aorta is than the pulmonary. Because what side of the heart pumps more blood?
Left.
Right, left.
None.
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm the
right.
tricky.
Yes, you are.
They both pump the same amount of blood.
Yes.
Which one pumps at higher pressure?
The left.
The left. And the aorta comes from the left side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you have to have more pressure to get to your big toe, the tip of your fingers to your brain. The right side of the heart, all it has to pump to is your lungs. So it's like, that's why most people have left-sided heart failure and not right-sided heart failure. Or their bicuspid valve goes out. So both of these valves are closed. So what valve is this one? And I look here, thin. So this is aortic semilinear valve, and this is pulmonary semilinear valve. Right ventricle, there's the anterior interventricular artery. That is not the circumflex artery. Get rid of that. Right coronary artery and marginal artery. There's the right auricle, so superior vena cava, aorta, and pulmonary trunk. And this would be the great cardiac vein, the light thing right there.
No, this one, it looks like the pulmonary trunk is laying across the aorta. You said it doesn't. You said it goes
Well,
behind
because
it.
the aorta's been cut. The aorta goes like this. Okay, here's the pulmonary trunk. The aorta goes like this.
It's missing a section.
So this would go up and over.
That's
Okay. So what side?
Why are you asking me questions about stuff? Right ventricle. So is the left.
Okay.
You don't need to know all
Because
that.
I'm trying to learn the heart. I'm telling you, I missed every question.
I
So
know.
I'm asking these for a reason.
I know.
So I'm trying to remember what those things are.
You-
We know it.
You can ask the rest of them. What I went over is what they needed to know. And that was about it. You don't want to go too deep into it, like, you know, which papilla or papillary muscle is this one versus that one. They're all papillary muscles. Boom, boom. Anything attached to chordae tendon.
Coordinates in there.
And what side of the heart are we on? Well, first thing I look at is here's the apex. This doesn't go to the apex. The left ventricle goes to the apex. The right one doesn't. So this is right ventricle. Also, I look here. Look how thin all that is. Look how thin the chordae tendineae are. They're little
You
strings.
said that's thin?
Yeah.
Compare to look at the next one, then you'll see that it's not.
Right.
Okay.
Here comes the next.
And look here. That's thin too. So this is the right side tricuspid valve.
See that?
Now, see the difference?
And look, they look like shoestrings. So papillary muscle, chordae tendineae, bicuspid valve. But look how thick it is. Side by side, you can definitely tell. It's just when you get one. And here, left side much thicker than the right side. Look at the chordae tendineae here versus here. And the papillary muscle,
Yeah.
big thing. Because this has to, which side pumps more blood?
No.
Nah.
All right.
Neither
Neither one pumps more blood.
You're terrible for that.
one's in heart.
I know, I just want you to get right on the test. Because that was on the test.
That was on the.
That's like, true or false, you have 32 pair of teeth.
Yeah, I think that was the only hard question I actually did get right.
False, you don't have 32 pair of teeth.
Not here.
See, but a lot of people said 32. Oh, yeah, that's right. Or how many teeth do you have throughout your life?
52.
52. A lot of people say 32.
Yeah, I did that.
Like a deck of cards.
See? Should have been here the whole time. And trabeculate coronae are the muscle ridges. Here's the septum, anterior or the interventricular septum. Right ventricle, left ventricle. There's the right auricle. There's the left auricle. So right atrium, left atrium underneath. Superior vena cava, aorta, pulmonary trunk. And we can even see the brachiocephalic artery, left common carotid, left subclavian. Let's see how this goes up and over the pulmonary trunk.
It still looks like it in front of the aorta to me.
If you don't,
I'm done with you. You can believe me and just forget what you're thinking.
I'm trying to,
Well, don't try, just do it.
but when I look at that, I just see that.
Okay, here's the pulmonary trunk. It's going to go back to the lungs like this, okay?
And which one's the pulmonary trunk? Okay.
So it's going to go back towards the lungs because the lungs are on the other side, right? The aorta is going to come up like this and go over.
Okay.
Like it's no. Oh Lord.
Why is everybody freaking out about those? These are not forks.
We know. We tractors.
Okay, so here's the apex, right ventricle, papillary muscle, chordae tendon tricuspid. What's that?
interventricular.
Right auricle, so the right atrium. So we have left subclavian vein, left internal ventricular vein, left brachiocephalic vein, superior vena cava. The right side of the veins have been cut away, so you can see the arteries. So we see ascending aorta with aortic arch, brachiocephalic artery. We don't even see where the brachiocephalic artery splits because we don't look alike on the outside. We don't look alike on the inside. Some places, different things. Left common carotid artery and left subclavian artery. Here's my phrenic nerve going down, and then my vagus. You see here hugging. It goes in towards the heart. What's this?
Left atrium.
Pulmonary trunk.
Oh wow.
Superior vena cava, aorta,
Oh.
pulmonary trunk.
Nana,
What valve is that?
Nana, boo boo. I'm not the only one that know where it is. Okay.
So what valve is that?
That
Is it time for me to go yet? Damn it.
The vicus.
This is the right ventricle, and this is the pulmonary trunk.
Oh.
This is the pulmonary semilunar valve. What's blood flow? Right atrium through tricuspid valve to right ventricle through pulmonary semilunar valve into pulmonary trunk.
That's gonna be on the test.
Why do you always say that at the speed of light?
Because I don't have much time. I got like 4 minutes to help you guys.
Okay.
Because I'm hoping you got it recorded. You record me. And then you're still like, I don't understand. I don't. Just read it or look at it again and again and again.
Okay.
Do you watch it?
Look at it.
You want to watch it?
Yeah, do you watch it? See, we've seen this one already.
Y'all going over there? I'm going. Can I come over to your house?
This one should have been on the test.
Why not?
Was this one on the test? SA node to AV node, bundle of this or AV bundle, bundle branches, Purkinje fibers.
Yeah. That was on there.
You wanna say what?
I
I know.
She's messing with me. Some old guy.
That's on the test.
That thing's something else.
What was the type of question you was asking?
One I didn't know.
Yeah, when this closes, what's open? When that opens, what's closed? What is P?
493 and 459 in your lab books. Study those.
493 and 459. Yep.
493 and 459.
Any other test?
Like questions 1 through 50 on the test.
They'll be overheads.
Got it.
The lecture will be 150 questions.
Really?
Yeah, so you can actually get the positive.
Yeah, if you miss 15 questions, questions, you still get an A.
Oh.
You can 15.
Yeah,
Out of
'cause
100.
150 questions, 10%.
I'm so,
Be
I
15.
was so excited.
Wait, that doesn't help.
That doesn't help.
Yeah.
No, because you still have only 50 to take for the next day. So
For the lab.
yeah, there's still that pressure. You
I
can't
thought it
just
was all
bump.
the same day.
Is it all the same day?
Nobody needs to know when it's number has
I'm
to come.
confused.
Wait, it's like it doesn't.
For whenever you have your normal lab and lecture, they said that, yeah. that's what the
Okay,
homework did.
that's what we didn't.
It doesn't.
Mine is
Yours
gonna be
is on
hard
next
on
day?
Monday.
Yeah,
We have to do it.
Yeah, we're done. You guys are done.
but I'm saying having 150 questions is
Good
a
luck.
bonus.
I'll see some of you
Because the
next
next
semester.
day you have less.
No, you won't see me next semester unless you're gonna be.
You gonna come say hi to me?
Yeah, you have less points. It's not that you have less, it's just that you can't blow off the first one thinking tomorrow you have 100 points
We'll
to
do
get.
ours, yeah, we'll do it at 7 and then when you're finished, come over here.